Imagine a version of American history where one battle decides everything. A single campaign that, if reversed, could collapse the entire revolution before the idea of the United States ever takes shape. Tonight, we step into a world where the British win at Saratoga in 1777. No dramatic rescue by patriot militias. No surrender of Burgoyne's army. No morale-boosting victory to convince Europe that we could stand on our own. Instead, a British triumph that sends shockwaves across the colonies, leaving our fight for independence on the brink of collapse. So what happens when the turning point of the revolution flips the other direction? What happens when the moment that kept the American cause alive never comes? This is the alternate timeline where the British win at Saratoga, changing our identity, our government, and our place in the world. To understand how fragile the revolution truly was, we need to revisit the late summer of 1777. The Continental Army was struggling. Supply shortages, inconsistent enlistments, and deep political divisions inside the Continental Congress. Britain aimed to split the colonies by controlling the Hudson River corridor, isolating New England, the heart of the rebellion, from the rest. General John Burgoyne advanced from Canada, expecting a coordinated push from British forces further south. But historically, miscommunication, rough terrain, and local resistance slowed him down. American militias gathered strength, turning the tide at Freeman's Farm and Bemis Heights. The result? A massive British surrender, one of the most decisive victories in American history. That victory convinced France that the American cause was viable. And once France entered the war, the revolution gained naval power, money, supplies, and legitimacy. Saratoga wasn't just a battlefield win. It was the moment that transformed a rebellion into a real nation-building movement. Without it, everything teeters. Now we flip the outcome. In this timeline, Burgoyne receives reinforcements on time, thanks to clearer orders and better coordination. American militia forces that historically slowed the British advance arrive late, delayed by harsh weather and disrupted communication lines. At Bemis Heights, British artillery gains higher ground first, forcing American positions to withdraw rather than hold. The Continental Army doesn't collapse, but it retreats in disarray, losing control over the Hudson River. When Congress hears of the defeat, panic spreads. Washington, already stretched thin in Pennsylvania, cannot redirect troops quickly enough. With the Hudson Valley under firm British control, New England is effectively cut off, and the rebellion suddenly looks like a lost cause. This single change, reinforced British coordination, reshapes the entire revolution. The world reacts swiftly. France, watching closely, interprets the defeat as proof that the Americans cannot stand against Britain without foreign help. But unlike our timeline, France chooses caution and delays its decision to join. Spain, hesitant even in real history, steps even further away from involvement. London celebrates the victory, seeing Saratoga as confirmation that rebellion can be contained with strategic pressure. British diplomats quietly approach neutral European powers, arguing that the rebellion is fading and discouraging them from offering loans or supplies to the colonies. The global perception shifts. America is not an emerging nation, it's a weakened uprising. This change in international confidence affects everything that comes next. Inside the colonies, morale collapses. New England towns fear isolation and increased taxation. Patriot leaders debate whether to continue resisting or to negotiate terms for partial autonomy. Loyalist sentiment grows in middle colonies like New York and New Jersey, where residents hope to avoid further economic strain. Trade routes tighten as British control over the Hudson restricts movement of goods between regions. The Continental Army struggles to replace lost supplies and ammunition. And without the symbolic power of a major victory, local militias see fewer volunteers. The revolution doesn't end overnight, but its momentum fades dramatically. Political consequences unfold quickly. The Continental Congress fractures between moderates seeking reconciliation and radicals insisting on full independence. A proposed early treaty of reunification emerges, granting the colonies expanded rights but keeping them under British oversight. In this alternate world, some colonies accept limited self-governance in exchange for stability. Others refuse, desperate for full independence but lacking allies. The Articles of Confederation, already weak, stall completely. Without a unified political framework, the idea of a single United States remains more symbolic than practical. America becomes a region of semi-autonomous provinces, not a strong centralized nation. Fast forward to our present day, 2024, in this alternate world. Instead of a global superpower, America resembles a Commonwealth federation aligned closely with Britain. Different regions develop distinct political identities. New England becomes highly urbanized and maritime-focused. The South remains agriculturally driven. The Mid-Atlantic becomes a commercial and financial hub. The United States, as we know it, never fully unifies. There is no constitution, no federal structure, no presidency. Global conflicts of the 20th century unfold without a dominant American military or industrial presence. The geopolitical balance leans more heavily toward European powers and emerging Asian economies. America is influential, but not the center of the world. Culturally, the absence of a declaration-driven identity changes everything. National holidays emphasize regional heritage rather than a unified independent story. American English retains stronger British spelling and speech patterns. Sports culture skews toward cricket and rugby alongside regional favorites. Icons of American individualism, innovation, and frontier mythology are far less prominent. Instead of the American dream, society promotes a Commonwealth opportunity, focused on community stability and shared prosperity. It's recognizable, yet noticeably different. Picture an ordinary morning in this alternate America. A family in Albany starts their day under a provincial flag, not a national one. The news reports decisions from a Commonwealth Council in London, mixed with local provincial updates. School children recite a pledge to regional unity rather than a nationwide identity. And though life feels stable, there's a constant awareness that the colonies never became a single nation, only partners within a much larger empire. The Battle of Saratoga didn't just shape a war, it shaped the United States itself. Flip that outcome, and the entire world becomes unrecognizable. If you want more deep dive alternate timelines, hit like, subscribe, and tell me what if you want next.